are food for worms.
I'll drive you crazy and I'll kill you all on every nightmare you ever had.
Because believe it or not, each and every one of us in this room is one day going to stop breathing.
I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
Turn cold and die.
Be afraid. Your tastes much better than afraid.
Welcome to Beyond the Walls. I'm Fred,
I'm Alex.
I'm Sarah.
and I know we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a little equipment run-through of stuff we tend to take on ghost hunts. It's pretty basic stuff. Yeah, to compare it to like Ghost Adventures or whatever, this is like baby toys.
Yeah, I mean, I've made a couple of things by hand with basic off-the-shelf parts like Raspberry Pis and stuff like that, but
The actual pies.
no, Pi, P-I, Fred.
3.14.
I actually don't even know what it stands for in the name. I'm assuming it's 3.14.
My
but
brain
I don't
will
know. I probably sound
explode.
like an idiot right now, but
My brain will explode if
yeah,
I have to think
I'll
about
get
pie.
used to switching the cameras. New piece of equipment here we got to get used to.
Yeah, switching up the cameras and
Yeah.
everything. So I guess we'll start.
Oh, your blindfold.
Yeah, this is for. So I guess I'll just start with like my favorite piece of equipment. It's the SB7 Spirit Box.
There you go. Get an up
right
shot.
Here, we'll put it right here. Yeah.
There
look
we
at
go.
that.
Look at that thing. All right, so tell me about the spirit box, Fred.
So for those of you who are pretty new to like ghost hunting stuff, this circulates through like radio waves and everything, and it's pretty much like white noise coming through, and generally we'll have like a speaker hooked up to it, and it will be pushing out all the noise. But lately what we've been doing is we've been doing like a sensory deprivation version of it, which is actually called the Estes method. And you put headphones on, blindfold on, which is from The Exorcist. You can't hear anything or see anything. The only thing you can hear are the radio waves. So then when people are asking questions or whatever, you can't hear anything, so you just yell out whatever you hear, and that's pretty much what the Estes method is.
Am I right in the radio waves are actually putting whatever might be picked up, like an actual radio or like a trucker? Isn't it putting it in reverse?
Well, it goes through all the radio waves. It doesn't really go in reverse, but it'll
There is
Go-
an option to put it in reverse, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
they have
you
reverse
go
sweeps.
backwards, but it's
Yeah.
not. Nothing is in reverse.
So what it does, it'll just sweep through all the different available
Yeah.
radio waves that are out there, like channels,
Yeah, but
like
like
the radio in your car.
But like every second.
Yeah, yeah.
So if there's
Mhm.
like a full sentence that comes out, it's not. It
It's
cannot be from an
one
actual radio
station.
station.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's through
Different
multiple stations.
Exactly.
You know, I want to talk about our first, I guess, full sentence, which was so cool. Do you know what I'm talking about? Let's see. if
Oh,
he
when we're
knows.
at the Punisher warehouse.
Yeah.
So if you haven't checked out the Punisher warehouse, we'll leave a link down below. So the idea or the thought process was that the owner of this warehouse frequently traveled to China. So we're running off of whatever was in that warehouse was from China, and we're at it was a skate warehouse. So we were at the skate ramp, and what came through the spirit box was the words "I'm from China," clear as day.
Clear.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I wasn't there
Clear.
for that one, but I remember seeing the footage. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the only time we've gotten a full sentence like
As
that.
clear as that too.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was crystal clear. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's my favorite piece of equipment. If Sarah, you want to go through whatever
Okay.
you want to next.
Okay. So my favorite piece, if you guys have watched our other videos, you will know, are the dowsing rods. The dowsing rods. So these guys, they were originally used years ago to detect water. And I guess if there was like standing water underneath, they would cross. If there were like a pipe or something, they'd kind of go like this, or they could go this direction. So you do have to be careful. I mean, you have to know where you're at, know your environment, and are you like over standing water or someplace like we live by the mountain where water runs off, so we have to be really careful around here with these. But the idea is that they're easily manipulated by energy. So I'm gonna say I've seen other paranormal teams, not to bash them, but I've seen them use these, and you know, I'll just show you how sensitive they are. If you're using them and they're nice and still, which these do not want to stay still for some reason.
We have a lot of little equipment running,
True.
so that could be
That makes sense, yeah.
interfering.
So if and this is just an example, if I look over at Fred and I lean just a little bit, notice how they moved that quickly. Or if, you know, you kind of just...
You have to keep your hands very, very still.
And I've seen other teams use them, and they're like moving and laughing, and I'm like, oh my god, no, you can't do that. So you'll know though. What's really neat about these is it's a whole different feeling. Like what they're doing right now is, you know, it's kind of like the same pull. It's the same feeling. So I know they're pulling to electricity or something. But when there's actually activity, you can even feel like I've had this happen. If you check out our Gettysburg video of the schoolhouse, there's an incident where it literally goes like, it jumps up, like you see it jump like this. And that's not going to happen from water, obviously. And you know when they're sitting still, nothing's happening, and all of a sudden you can actually feel like a pull on them, like kind of out of nowhere. And so I love them. They're one of my favorite pieces of equipment, honestly. But you have to be careful. Don't be leaning, talking, laughing, looking at her, because it's not going to be accurate then. So.
Yeah, I got some of my things. So a lot of you know that if you watch a lot of the paranormal things that are on TV, they use a thing called an Ovilus device. Well, we don't have a lot of money right now, and we don't feel like spending the money on one of them. I feel like, what are they, like $500-$600 for one of them?
They're a lot.
Yeah, and not even that. Like, if you would try to order one right now,
Yeah, they're back ordered, aren't they?
until like January or something, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
so good luck even getting one of those. So I decided to do some research, and I found on GitHub a Python script for a Raspberry Pi and a SenseHat. So this thing has, I think, 4 or 5 sensors in it. It's barometric pressure, humidity, a gyroscope, accelerometer, and temperature. It's 5 actually. So what this thing will do, it'll read those temperatures, and based off of what the spirit decides to put into the device, it'll pick through a list of words that it wants to use. There's over 2,000 words in the database, and I've left this thing actually run. I was telling Fred the other night, I left this thing run overnight, and it only spit out 3 words the whole night. So, because I wasn't asking any questions, so I feel like if you're not asking it any questions, it's not going to tell you. And this thing will run on battery power. It runs for about 7 hours on a single cell phone brick battery bank.
It also has a British accent.
Yeah, the it's called eSpeak. Everybody probably familiar with that if you're familiar with GitHub and Raspberry Pis. It's a simple text-to-speech thing that'll speak the words out as well as display them here. Here, Fred, put that into the close-up shot there. There's a little LED matrix that's down there. It'll display the word on that as well as speak it. So you can either choose to have it speak the word out to you or just have it display on the LED matrix there.
This is great because, like you said, it's so expensive to buy one, and then for them to be on back order the way they are, this is really great. I'm so excited to use it.
I mean, I don't know if it's exactly the same thing they use, but as far as my testing goes, it seems like it's working pretty well. So,
and it's one of those things that we've all seen, like we've all had like apps or something we've played around with. If it's spitting out, like if we're at a cemetery and looking for children and it spits out like Satan, obviously that's
especially an app, because you don't know like who's in there coding the things. Like I know exactly what went into this thing. I know that there's nothing else interfering with what's coming out. The only thing that
Satan,
the only
rosary.
The only thing that I added to the word list was our names, because they weren't in there.
Okay,
that was the only thing that I added. So I wanted to give it the opportunity to get our names.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So out of 2,000 words, it has a 3 in 2,000 chances of actually getting our names. So
no, that's cool though, because it makes makes more sense.
Yeah,
like I said, these other apps and stuff. Like I downloaded one free one on my phone, and I was walking around my house with it, and within 2 minutes it said rosary. Like, okay, that's a little weird. Obviously, it's just spitting out words, but this, I'm excited.
Speaking of apps, actually, I know there's a couple of. So I got the new iPhone 13, and I think the 12 had it as well. It has a LiDAR camera on it. It's pretty much just like an SLS, and that's actually legit on this thing. So there is an app that I have. I have to pay for it. Obviously, there's a paywall for everything these days, but there is an app on your iPhones. If you have a LiDAR, if you have the one with LiDAR on it, it will work as an SLS camera as well.
Cool.
But we have the actual SLS.
Yeah, we actually do have an SLS camera.
Segue.
Yeah. It's using the Xbox 360 Connect, modded with a.
This is the beast.
Yeah, this thing's kind of heavy.
Yeah. I'll talk about this behemoth here. So instead of spending like $400 on an actual SLS,
Yeah, the actual SLS, and this is literally what they use.
so I took an Xbox 360 Connect and I used a bunch of zip ties.
Little rigged up there, Fred. Little
Our
rigged up.
version of
look at
duct
this.
tape.
Like it's not
ain't
not
going
moving
anywhere.
It ain't
There's
going
nothing wrong with
anywhere.
that,
You
dude.
know, you put black zip ties on there, you can't even tell,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. You're good.
So yeah, Xbox 360 Connect, and I had wires soldered together so you don't have to actually
An actual electrician built that for you.
Yeah.
Didn't they? Yeah. So we're
Yeah.
good. Not worried
with a
about
battery pack right here, so you don't need to plug it into a wall right
it. Yeah.
here,
Look at that skill.
and connected to an actual just a camera C mount. Got a GoPro thing to actually record the screen because OBS for some reason doesn't work on this tablet.
Well, and plus that's a really, really underpowered tablet. You don't want to be
Yeah.
running things
No.
under there anyway. So
We found out the hard way about that. I'll just say that.
Oh,
Yeah,
did you?
our first
yeah.
first time using this, which was Hickory Run Part 2.
Yeah.
think it was,
It
yeah.
was the second time
We were
went there.
recording OBS on here, and
It
it didn't
crashed.
record anything, and we caught a figure.
Yeah, we
Oh,
caught a
there
few
too.
things.
that
Couple
sucks.
things. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, downloaded software on here, and it's the actual SLS thing that Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, it's
uses,
actually
I'm pretty
the
sure.
program is literally from Microsoft. I think it's like the Connect SDK. Anybody can get it. It's open.
Yeah, something
open
like
to
that.
the
So
public.
honestly, it's very cheap to make, and it's one of our favorite pieces of equipment.
What would
Yeah,
you
it's
say
honestly
to
one
be
of mine.
careful with that though? Because you kind of have to watch what it's mapping.
Oh, like it'll map like doorways sometimes.
It'll map
Trees.
pictures.
The mirror. If you're standing next to like anything reflecting, like a reflection, like a mirror, even glass, if it sees your reflection, it will map you. So be
I'm pretty
careful
sure it'll
with
do
that.
pictures as well. If there's a picture of a
I think
person
so,
on the
yeah.
wall, like a full body figure on the wall, it'll do that
Like-
as well.
Again, back to the first Punisher warehouse video, there was a tall figure standing right behind Sarah, but it was nothing on the wall. It
Yeah,
was just
nothing.
a plain white wall, and it was standing right there. So we know that that was legit. Something like that, you know. But
Cool.
Hey Fred, are you sure that this is recording? Like you're 100% positive that this is recording?
yes,
Okay, good.
I can see the button is.
Okay, all right, good. I don't
It's
want to
gotta
be.
be-
I don't want to be doing this for over an hour and then we
Then
have
nothing
nothing.
recorded.
We
Yeah,
have no
just call it
footage.
quits and be like, all right, going home.
Yeah,
Well, I'm already home, but I'm
going
gonna
to
go downstairs,
I'll be going
shower,
home.
and go to bed.
Yeah,
We'll just
exactly.
leave with saying
You're walking
nothing.
home.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go back to me. So, another piece of equipment that I do like, and I just figured out actually how to do this, is the mag light, which I'm sure you guys have seen. It's kind of hard to explain, but you have to have it where it's not quite on, but it's not off. It's sort of in that in-between state, and if it gets bumped or banged, it can turn on. I don't know, are they able to see this or not?
No, if you hand it to Fred, he can.
Yeah. So, you know, if it's on and then you set it down, it may shut off.
It was actually going on and off before when
It
you were
was.
discussing the dowsing rods.
I
don't know if you saw it or not.
No, I wasn't paying attention.
And we actually used this at Mud Run, the Mud
Mhm.
Run video.
Oh, the Mud Run
and
Road?
in the first
Road. Wow, that's
Mud
a
Run
good-
Row.
Yeah, Mud Run Road.
Row.
And in part one
Row
of
Raggy.
Gettysburg.
See, it's going
Oh,
off
there we
right
go.
there.
Oh, I missed it.
And what might be happening right now, I'm just going to point out, is the vibration of the table, and that's the point of the mag light. Is that, you know, you can set it somewhere undisturbed. Don't put it anywhere that people are going to be getting like on and off a chair or something really close by, because it's very sensitive. But if it's sitting by itself, undisturbed, and intelligently responds to you, then it's an intelligent response.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've had intelligent responses. If it's just kind of flickering on and off randomly, I wouldn't say that's paranormal. But if you say, hey, if you're here with us, can you turn this light on? And in the next 10, 15 seconds, the light's on.
That's
To me,
crazy.
that's an intelligent response.
Yeah.
So I like the mag light a lot.
Go ahead, put it back in its.
Yeah, I remember.
light holder.
I think I remember the one time. Was it an investigation here, and he left it in the basement, and then Jake
Yes.
came upstairs. He had it sitting on the crate.
Oh,
It was a good 5 minutes after he left that it turned
no
on.
one was
That-
down there.
That
and it
would
went on
not
by
turn on
itself.
with him down
no,
there.
and plus, after 5 minutes after he left, I
Yep.
mean that's pretty legit if you ask me.
Yeah, we did a ghost hunt of our home, and one of our guys was in the basement, and he just was like, you know, I'm not getting anything, kind of sitting down there by himself and getting a little antsy, and at least, 20 minutes maybe by himself, and then he went up the steps because our dinner arrived, pizza, Domino's, and as soon like he went up the steps and within a few minutes it just turned on and stayed on for a solid minute or two and then just shut off.
This was like early on us investigating too.
It's very
So,
obvious.
yeah.
What is that?
that
One of the first
yeah.
investigations that you guys did, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think Justin's house.
was one of the first, but
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah.
If you want to go
I'll
through.
go another one. I have another thing. I kind of like Raspberry Pis, as you can
Now,
tell.
what is Raspberry Pis? Because I don't
These are
know.
pretty much just microcomputers, like this thing.
Oh.
This is in a case and it has an extra thing on it, but this thing pretty much down here is what it is. So
okay.
it can't run Windows. It runs a flavor of Linux called Raspberry OS, or it can run, flavor.
Okay.
It runs a flavor of Linux. You can actually run Kali Linux on it too, but it's pretty much like it's pretty much like a hacker's tool in a sense, but you
Okay.
can do other projects to them. I have like 5 of them at home that I do projects with.
Cool.
Yeah.
Glad
this
one of
is
us is smart.
This is a smaller version of a Raspberry Pi. This is a Raspberry Pi Zero, actually, and this is about a quarter to maybe about half as powerful as this guy here. This is running on the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and then this is a Zero, like I said, but this guy is running a EnviroHat on it. I don't have the SD card in it right now because for some reason all my SD cards decided to take all at the same time. That's why I couldn't give you one to lend one today, but what this thing does is it has a little screen on it here. You want to put that into the thing so they can see. It has a little screen on it. That little black rectangle there is a screen, and it will give real-time readouts of the temperature, pressure, and humidity, as well as lux levels, but I don't know if we really need lux levels.
So this is more of like
It's like a very niche product.
technical stuff, not for people that are just starting out.
Yeah,
ghost
not
hunting,
at
which
all. I mean, this is stuff that I just enjoy doing anyway, so why not just implement it
We'll run
into
through
our-
like what would be good for like people that are just starting
Oh
out.
yeah,
and
like a
just kinda
very,
wanna
very
get
simple
into
kit.
it.
Like
Yeah.
these are technical, very technical. You need to know a little bit of code to do this, and obviously you need to know Linux how to do it too.
He's doing that, and I'm doing mag lights.
Yeah,
The
I'm over here
dowsing
running
rods.
Python scripts, and she's over there playing with flashlights.
There's
I'm just
no
kidding.
wrong
Play
way. There's
play
no
with
wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
So,
No, you just stick with whatever you can do.
yeah. And everybody likes different things. I think that's really important, too. I kind of lean, not that I don't like techie stuff. I love the fact they pick up voices and whatnot, but for myself to utilize, I'm clumsy. I'm not tech savvy. Give me the rods. Give me a flashlight.
It's like bare bones.
Yeah.
Simple stuff, no offense, but like not
Yeah,
being
it
mean.
is.
It's just simple
Yeah.
things. You just want it to work and do what it wants to do,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Mhm.
Just get a straight answer from it. This you have to go jump through a few hoops to get through
Yeah.
it, but
Yep.
to get your answer, but it does it does its job.
Yep.
Okay, so the next thing, this is an older model of the normal REM pod, which is like the cylinder thing with like the antenna. In all honesty, this thing was just way cheaper. This is only like $40 off eBay.
The one I
actual-
built was cheaper.
Yeah, he's actually built one, but we don't.
I don't have it here because I kind of can't find it right now because I'm remodeling at my house. So
Yeah,
The REM pod's lost in,
it's
lost in his
one- it's-
laundry.
it's-
lost in the sauce.
yeah, pretty much. No, it's in one of my totes that's buried. But yeah,
Okay.
But yeah, so we just have one of these ones. It's, as anything gets close to the antenna, it'll go
Yep.
off. I'm going to.
go ahead and demonstrate it.
Watch your ears.
It'll
I'll
be
turn
loud.
down the audio. Oh wow, that is loud.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, you
so
can turn that off.
so just like that.
Oh wow,
like
that works pretty
close.
well actually.
Mhm.
So we actually technically never got this thing to go off yet,
And I'm
we've had it
so
for a
mad
while.
about that because that was the one techie thing I was like, get me that REM pod.
We'll
and
see
it
how
just
mine
sits
works
there
when
quiet.
when I decide to use it and find it.
Yeah, we'll use it on our next investigation.
We're actually
But-
going back to Hickory Run on Sunday on Halloween because we were not as good
Wait,
investigators
this
a
Sunday
year
is
ago.
Halloween.
Yeah, I
Yes.
forgot about
How
that.
cool is that? And that thing, I just have a feeling. I have a feeling.
Well, we're gonna
I'm not gonna
bring
jinx
out
it, though.
we're gonna bring out the teddy bear again,
Oh,
like
The
from
teddy
part
bear?
2. Yeah, like I had this EMF
Oh
meter,
yeah, I remember.
which I'll run through this in a second.
Yeah.
I had this up against the teddy bear chest, and
Oh.
it was, it would not let me get a word in. At one point, it kept on going
was
off as soon as I was
crazy.
talking. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
So cool. But we're gonna probably do the teddy bear thing again, but with the REM pod, because that's usually how you're supposed to do it anyway. So
I'm anxious to see how mine works. I'm gonna bring mine along on
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah,
if
we'll
I
use
can
them
find
both.
it. So
we'll use them both
honestly,
right now.
you can literally make a REM pod with a Junior Theremin that I found on Amazon for $20 and just throw it inside of an DIY electronic box. And it cost me $20 to build. So,
Wow.
and I was told by somebody online, on a forum or Reddit, I can't remember, that that's what the original ones have inside of it. Is literally the same thing that I bought.
Probably this.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
that,
think
it's a
this
little
might be
bit
the
different,
original.
but I mean, it runs off a 9-volt, and it seems about the size that it could fit the Theremin board in there.
Yeah.
So who knows?
These are the older models. So,
Yeah,
all right, on to the next. I could put this thing back on.
the power
Just
of
like this.
editing right now.
Yes, I think that's on. Cool. Do you want to?
I can do the K2.
We can tag
Hey,
team
Frederick,
EMF.
try your best not to bump the microphone because your headphones keep hitting the cord. The cord keeps.
Wait,
hitting. Put the cord behind you.
it's all tangled up.
I'll start with this, and then you can segue into that.
Yeah, we can tag team it.
That's gross.
Tag
Yeah,
team the K2s, baby.
FYI, I'm still getting used to this, so if at any time, go ahead and press the button because you seem like you're pretty good at it. So
Oh shit!
as you can tell, I
I
kind of
can't.
panned through like.
I know you're like.
and I'm like, oh no, buttons.
Okay, so another piece of equipment which I think most of you guys have used if you're paranormal investigators, and you've definitely seen it if you watch the shows, which is the K2.
Which isn't.
There we go.
It isn't like an EMF meter, electromagnetic field. It,
Yes.
If you put it up against like an oven, like an oven, just a normal baking oven, right near the outlet, it will go off.
Yeah,
It'll reach
it's a
all
high,
the way to the
high
top.
voltage because an oven's 220, I believe.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So, kind of how I'm going to demonstrate here is, I have to make sure it's on. If you bump it, you know, obviously it's going to jump around. So you have to be really careful with these. We walk with them, but we honestly try and stop and just hold it still, like so, because any movement can set like a false reading, and then you think you're connecting with somebody that you're not. It's just your own body kind of doing it. So, if you set these somewhere, if you want to put it in the front over there, if you set them down, we've actually had good results with this. You just kind of set them in an area where, again,
battery on it.
there's not a lot of vibration, not a lot going on. People aren't putting equipment right up next to it, and it starts spiking. Then
Yeah,
it's
but, like, you
legit.
probably-
Yeah, we had it when we went to Pennhurst. Obviously, we had everything there, but in the tunnel where there's no electricity down there. It's just us. We were the only electricity. We had it sitting in the center of the tunnel, and we were getting intelligent responses. We were getting it even spiking up to red at certain points in response. Again, it's situational. If something is just going off constantly and it's not really in any type of pattern, it just seems to kind of be erratic. That maybe it's picking up some electronic device or something. But if it's quiet and sits quiet, and then you say something and boom, it's up to red, just like that, that would be an intelligent response.
You also gotta be careful if you're using walkie-talkies and you hit the talk button right next to it. It will set it off for some reason. I think it's like the radio waves from
Probably.
walkie-talkie
Going
or
back to
something.
that, actually, I don't believe that walkie-talkies will interfere with the spirit box because it's different frequencies.
Well, I don't know if it messes with the spirit box, but I know it messes.
I know that.
these.
I'm just curious if it actually messes with the spirit box or not. I never
Way to
actually thought
find
about
out.
that. We can try it.
We
sometime.
could test that out. We have walkies. I want to say too with the K2, it took me a few times of this happening to realize it actually, if I get like an email on my phone, even if my notifications are turned off, because we're on investigations, I turn my notifications off, but you'll feel it vibrate in your pocket. It's already went off when
from that.
yes,
Because it's
from
just
a
receiving the
voicemail.
signal. Yeah.
Yep. So you got to be really careful nowadays with our techie phones and stuff. It may pick up some, so we always kind of if we're getting a spike, we'll go, okay, wait, let me go back where it was and see if my phone was setting it off.
Try to debunk it.
Yeah, try and debunk it. Because you guys see the stuff that we were able to show as being legit, but you're not seeing all the stuff we've debunked in the past year. There's been a lot where we're like, oh, that's what it was.
No, honestly, just from the investigations that you guys been on, it's probably hours worth of footage that you guys
It's so
debunked.
much. It's so
I mean,
much.
I've only saw maybe 2 hours of raw footage, and I debunked like probably 100 things just from that. From
It's a lot.
the one stationary
Yeah.
camera that I
Yep.
looked at from you guys.
Even people, they get real close to the K2 with the camera,
Oh
and
yeah.
that'll set it off too.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, back up, and then they back up. It's like, okay, it was the camera. So there's a lot of debunking that goes on. You'll get to really know what's legit and what isn't pretty
Sarah's
quickly.
the one that does all the reviewing, by the way.
Yeah.
So thank you to her. because I wouldn't want to
Nice.
sit down.
I can't complain. I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So what else we got, Fred?
And we have just a normal EMF meter. This one actually makes noise. It's the same as
Go ahead, put it
pretty
up in
much
there.
like they're both pretty much.
But
the
it has
same
a
thing.
temperature gauge on it too.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes, a live temperature gauge. That was actually
if
good
you
to
like
have.
to do Celsius, but there's temperature. It is 73 up in here. That
Celsius.
That reminds me about
degrees
centigrade because the thing that I have here, this little guy that I was talking about before, for some reason I don't know how to get this thing in Fahrenheit. So
Celsius.
The
It's in
British
Celsius.
accents and the
yeah, the British accent and Celsius
Celsius.
and everything. So I mean, we should just switch over to the metric system. But that's a whole different argument anyway. So yeah, but yeah, I just
We
figured
know
I'd throw
about
that in there.
Fahrenheit. But yeah, it's pretty much just a normal EMF meter. Pretty much these two, I would say, are probably the most like beginner friendly items that you
Yes.
can get,
Yeah,
as well as like.
Spirit
Spirit
Box
Box.
is moving up. Definitely an EVP recorder. We'll get to
Yeah.
that later, but
Well, we can honestly segue into that real quick.
Boy, I know we're jumping here, but the spirit box. Another thing that's neat with that is that not just words, but we've had things communicate by blasting the volume up so loud that
Oh my
Fred
God.
had to rip the headphones off because it was blasting into his eardrums. They can manipulate these things fairly easily, and well, let's just say it's happened to us. So even if you're not getting words, but all of a sudden the static goes from a very, C note and shoots up really high, then something's messing with it too. So I just wanted to.
yeah, I
But
remember
then-
that from the Pennhurst
Yeah.
shot in the tunnel. You freaked out. What
Just
did
so
it?
you know-
What did it say? Oh no, the volume just turned up.
Just so y'all know, it's loud already.
Yeah,
Coming
yeah.
through the headphones, and then when it's not cycling through and it's at the highest volume, it's just like 5 times louder.
Yeah.
I had
So-
asked the entity because he doesn't like women, and I had said, "Are you mad that I'm here? I'm a woman." Something to that effect. I don't know the exact words, and you could hear it just shoot. The volume just went twice
so
as high.
That was so loud. That scared the hell out of me.
Yeah. So there's different ways you can figure that something's communicating.
And another like beginner friendly item is the voice recorders.
Oh
So we
yeah,
got-
yeah,
Um,
yep. I gotta
So-
get used to this thing. I'm slacking over here. I gotta bring it closer to me. That's the
Yeah.
problem. It needs to be more and closer to me.
so this one's Alex's. This one's a little bit more on the higher end, I think, because of
yeah,
these
it's
little
a
finagle
Zoom
things up
H1.
here,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure a lot of people are familiar with the brand, but yeah, it's actually very sensitive. So I'm not 100% recommending that one because if you move it around,
Well, it's
like this too much, it'll pick up a lot of wind.
honestly it's the same with the.
Oh,
with
really?
The Olympus too.
Well, I'll have to let you test that one out too.
Yeah.
But
We
The-
set them down mostly.
yeah, that's
And-
probably what I'm gonna do is a static
This one-
thing.
This one's just the Olympus model. It's very, very cheap. I think it's only like $20 off Amazon,
Mhm.
and it gets the job done. I personally don't like using voice recorders very often. just
See, I'm
because
the
it makes-
opposite. I think I
EVPs
personally want to
are
use it
good.
more.
I want to.
But, yeah,
I want to use them
yeah.
more, but I just think for editing purposes, it is such a pain to get it like because
I
who
think
wants
what-
to see a black screen when you're
yeah,
listening
that's
to a
true.
voice,
But
you
I
know,
think what
it's-
we could do is maybe at the end of the videos we can put like a cluster of all the EVPs that you caught. Maybe I don't know,
Maybe.
or something. Who knows?
or like we've been trying to do like live, like
Oh yeah, we
playback,
could do that actually. A
but like
live
everybody's got to
playback.
be quiet.
See, I'm
and
not.
then-
I'm not good at that. I know he's better at it, but for me, when you play it back instantly,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing something. I don't mind the EVPs. We just don't always have the time.
Yeah.
But I will say with the EVPs, what I really like is that, if you set them, let's say you're in a cemetery and you set them back into the woods, sort of in the area where nobody is, so you're not picking up everybody's like shuffling around in the grass or because it will pick up any little thing, a car driving by. So you want to set it away because honestly, when you're investigating, if there are spirits there, they may get away from you. They may not be hanging around you like you think they are.
You're like,
and-
oh, humans.
We've gotten voices in the woods where we're at a cemetery trying to communicate, and we set them in the woods sort of bordering the cemetery, and there's all kinds of chatter.
What by
Chatter.
itself?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We've gotten some weird stuff
Huh.
on like
Hickory Run.
at
Mhm.
Hickory Run, New Hope.
Yeah, New
We
Hope.
went
there
to
was
New
a
Hope. There's a lot of like
kids.
children talking. and
Your
everything,
microphone
which is-
doesn't pick you up when you're all the way back here, Fred.
Okay.
Proximity effect. Just letting you know.
And yeah, like we we did an investigation in the New Hope, this old cemetery that's not kept up with at all. I mean, it's really, really old and it's just forgotten,
Sad.
basically. And we had an EVP sitting to the side, not anywhere near where we were. And there was Daddy. We heard Daddy. We heard
okay.
hello. We heard different things. And there was a grave right there where the EVP was. I can't say it was that person, but it's great. I think they're good tools to use personally.
Yeah.
I do.
We just have to figure out a better way to utilize for editing purposes, I guess.
And for your information, it is torture if you're in a busy area and there's like traffic or
Yeah.
something. It is really hard to listen to that footage. So just remember to think to yourself, would this even be beneficial? Because the EVPs are so loud, it's going to amp. And you have to have them turned up to hear the voice. So now you have them turned up and you're hearing all this other stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Just careful if you're going to investigate at places where there's a lot of cars, because it sucks.
Yeah. And people eating chips, because that's happened to me too.
Wait. Who?
Justin, if you're watching this.
Well, first of all, who brings food onto an active investigation site?
Justin?
What is this? Isn't an ASMR hour.
I love Justin, but he did it
Babe, closer to the mic.
I love
Oh,
Justin.
not that close. Holy crap.
But he did that like, what, 2 or 3 times?
He did it a lot.
He was just eating.
I kept hearing him chewing through the EVP. And he was like
got us
20
some
feet
really
away.
funny-
Well, first of all, that's where you're gonna have to put a stop to having for somebody eating as they're
Well,
recording.
we haven't done that.
It was
since
really
Okay,
just
so-
Justin, yeah.
But I love you, Justin.
I don't know you. I
Love
haven't
him.
met you yet, but
He
guess I
was
love you
always eating. He was always eating.
So,
Even when he
too. I mean, if I had the opportunity, I'd probably be eating too. I'd probably share my snacks with the
He was
spirits.
just pulling chips out of his pocket and eating them.
Here,
Snickers.
Here, demon, want a chip?
You're not you when you're hungry.
This is
Oh yeah, here, yeah,
an offering.
yeah. So what? I just want to ask you: do you want to put some links in the description to some of these products so they can go buy them themselves? or-
Yeah. We
Okay,
can.
cool.
Anything that we're gonna be talking about, we'll be leaving a link to probably the.
You know
on
what
the
I'll
cheaper
do?
Side, and except
Yeah,
for
you don't
maybe
need to
your
spend-
stuff. Your
Yeah, some of the
Raspberry Pi stuff.
I'll put the links in. You know what we could do?
We can do that.
I can make a spreadsheet or something of like a basic kit we could put together, and we'll
Yeah.
link that in there too as well.
Yeah, so we'll have like a basic kit of like stuff that you can go buy probably through Amazon. There's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
website called Ghost Stop you can check out as well. We will have a link to all those in the description down below.
And guys, another thing, just side note here. If you have the money and you don't mind spending it and you really don't care about the price, fine. But if there's a REM pod for $399 and it sits up and it's the shape of a coffin and you think it's really cool, it's not doing anything different than the one that's, $99.
Or 50.
Don't get sucked into that. I mean, hey, if I was a millionaire, I'd probably just buy the expensive stuff because it looks cool.
I mean, what I
But-
tend to do when I buy things that are expensive or even cheap, I try to look at the reviews
Mhm.
that are on the website. And obviously, if the thing has terrible reviews, don't buy it.
Yeah.
So if
Reviews
the
are
thing is cheaper, don't be disappointed and be like, oh, it's cheaper, it's not going to work. That's not always the case.
Right.
Like I said, I built the REM pod for literally $25, and it probably works just as good as the one he bought for $40.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Ghost hunting ain't cheap.
It's definitely not,
It is not cheap.
especially cameras.
Yeah. Just don't
Oh.
let them sucker you into buying expensive stuff.
Yeah,
Perfect segue.
yeah.
So,
We're segueing, segueing,
Segwagging.
segueing, seg.
That's our newest location.
Sega.
Shh.
The segue.
We're going to Segweg.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you guys pretty much like our basic handheld camera rig.
Yeah.
That I personally like these a lot more than the janky like big bulky arm handle things
Over
that
the
like
shoulder
over the
type.
shoulder.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
first of all, you don't really use that for.
for like night vision
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
You kind of want a handheld so you can whip it around
Yeah.
really well.
Like I've seen people just use the normal bar with like an IR
Yeah,
light.
there's nothing wrong with that. Just
infrared
like
light.
just what Zach and Aaron and everybody and Billy use on Ghost Adventures.
But I personally like this a little bit better. So you got camera, which we can leave a link in the description. This is actually like only I think $130 for this camera off Amazon, and this thing is awesome. I have 3 of these. That's how much I like
Good.
this.
Let's get a close up of that, Fred.
Yeah, let's check this out.
And cameras are important for audio. I mean, really, how often do we catch visual stuff? I mean, we need the visual stuff for the investigation, but really, it catches a lot of audio evidence.
That's actually funny because you can always tell a story with audio. You can't tell you can tell a story with visuals, but you can always tell a story with audio,
True.
no matter what.
Very
Especially
true.
if you're watching a video.
Yeah.
If the video is crappy, if your audio is good, well, there you go.
You can still hear
You can
it.
still get the story
Very
across.
true. They almost worked as EVPs.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time especially if your camera is good, and some of them aren't. It depends. Sometimes the onboard microphone's decent enough, but a microphone's a microphone. If it catches something pretty good, you'll end up hearing it. So.
Yeah.
And these cameras do come with this external mic.
Oh, nice.
By the
Really?
way.
I
They
didn't
all
know
do,
that.
yeah.
Where did you get that from?
Amazon.
Nice. Make
Amazon's
sure you link that exact one down
I will.
there. And that's a specific IR sensitive camera, right? That
Yeah.
night vision sensitive. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
because we have the same
Yeah.
exact
Oh yeah.
IR light,
Those
which-
lights
oh
are
my
super
God.
cheap but amazing. I'm getting a different one in the future, but
Yeah.
that's a different story. I'll show.
So
we'll show that later.
I
You
think this
totally
one-
had an accent, Alex. Sorry, babe.
Did I
don't
really?
know what that was when you listened to it. I got tripe. There's totally an accent.
Sometimes I stumble over my words when my mind's speaking faster, going faster than my mouth.
Okay,
I
it sounded
develop
like
an
an
accent.
accent when you replay.
I'll
You gotta
listen. I'll
yeah.
have to. I'll have to. Focus
I think it
on
was a
that
little
then.
Tennessee. I'm not sure.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe I'll get down south.
But yeah, so I know this IR light actually went up to like $45 now. It used to be
Yeah,
30.
because I think a
people
lot
were
of people were
finally
buying
seeing,
them. I
like,
mean,
oh my God.
I have like 8 in my cart just for shits and giggles. I mean, think about it. I mean, I'm all right. I have a light on pre-order for $130. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna light up the whole room. Multiple cameras can use it, but that's one light.
Yeah,
There's 8. I literally can get 8 for that price for the one that I have on pre-order. But still,
Oh wow.
that's all right.
yeah.
Also, if you're gonna buy this camera and get some kind of like setup like this, I highly recommend either you buy just a bunch of other batteries for it because this thing dies really quick.
Yeah, honestly, all
Or-
cameras are like
They
that. Even
do.
mine.
Yeah, or you just rig up a little external battery charger
Yeah,
thing
the
right here,
literally.
and just get a little short little cord. I couldn't think of the
USB cable.
name. Oh my God.
USB, right?
So just a short little USB, just a normal Android charger.
yeah, the old Android
just-
chargers.
Yeah, and just plug it in. Keeps you going the whole night. It kept
Yeah.
us going all throughout Pennhurst.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And always bring batteries and stuff because honestly, when spirits are communicating, they're using the energy in their atmosphere around them, and the energy is coming off of all the stuff, so the batteries are going to drain quicker. That's just what's going to happen.
Highly recommend this here. This is a battery that I recommend. That brand right there. It's Anchor. It's literally $19.99. 10,000 milliamps. That thing. I tested it on a GoPro a couple years ago. I tested it on a GoPro Hero 6, and the thing. Yeah, well, it's because it's specifically for the Pi, the Raspberry Pi. But don't be making fun.
I'm sorry. I just go and just
Pi. But yeah, no, I've tested those batteries, and it's got good output voltage, and yeah, I believe it powered my GoPro Hero 6 for like a good 14 hours.
Jeez,
year
that's
ago, so-
good. Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. You know, me being the caveman, ooga booga of the group. Cat balls. I'm sure you guys have seen these two, but if you haven't, they are touch balls, and these.
Don't.
I'm sorry.
Don't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's staying in. I'm not
These-
editing that out.
Now look. If you just tap them, they light up.
Nice.
What I like about these is they're not motion censored. And again, in one of our videos, our Pennhurst video, the first one I believe we put out, these were starting to light up. And
The first and the third one.
well, the first one Fred did like just to show you they're not motion censored. He kind of jumped around them, clapped over them, and
Oh, yeah, you
the
jumped in front of
stuff,
it. Yeah,
they're-
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
going to go off, but if you touch them, they go off.
So it has to be moved.
So yes,
A slight
So it's a
touch.
gyroscope or an
Here, babe, you
accelerometer
can
there. I'm gonna look at
put
that
it closer to the front. But
after you do a close up. I want to
Yeah.
see that.
what I like about it is that that's
Let it go off.
that's pretty legit.
Yeah,
And
it
they're
is.
not expensive. Again, you don't have to spend a lot of money. It might seem overwhelming right now what we're talking about, but you really don't need that
Honestly, $10. $10 for 3.
for three.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where else are you
Amazon
gonna buy
literally
things?
has
Yeah.
like almost everything, and the things that you can't get, you can get on Ghost Up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Harm-
Exactly. Yeah.
Sponsor us.
Yeah. That'd be
Ghost
sick.
Stuff is great. I mean, we had an issue with something. What was it in the beginning that
I
we
don't wanna
ordered?
say we had an issue.
Well,
Let's
no,
cut this
listen.
out.
No.
Oh! I know exactly. Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. We actually had an issue with one of the cameras that I bought off of them, which we'll segue into, and it was the IR light that you get with it. It wasn't working, so I emailed them. I said, "Hey, the IR light isn't working." They sent it to me for free. They sent me a replacement.
Without
you
a
didn't even have
problem.
to send the old one back.
No.
Nice.
without a problem. So
They didn't ask for
See,
it.
I love companies that don't really get
Yeah.
that. They're just like, yeah, we'll just send you another one. That actually happened to me recently when I replaced a modem in my house. They're like, hey, we'll just send you out another one. Don't
Yeah.
give us the other one back. Who
That's-
cares?
yeah.
I
Like, that
highly-
is sick.
Go Stop, awesome customer
Yeah,
service.
it's
They're
good customer
great,
service
Yeah.
right
Great
there.
guys, great
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely.
And perfect segue. So this
Ooh, camera time.
So this is on a chest rig right now. You can just put it on your chest and you can go POV.
That's
But
nice.
this is a kind of like a night vision GoPro, but it's not exactly
It's
GoPro
not
brand,
GoPro
but
branded. It's a
essentially
knockoff,
it
but
is,
it's
yeah.
still decently good.
We've used it as a stationary camera, kind of like looking over.
It reminds me of the GoPro Hero 3,
Yeah.
back in the day.
And it's a solid
Pretty
camera.
sure I
all
got to look
around.
at the specs again,
4K,
but I want to
you
say
know?
it's 4K. I'm not sure if it's 60 FPS or not, but if it's not, I'm pretty sure you can do 1080p
Yeah.
60 FPS, which is more than enough.
We should bring up the thermal camera. Do you have that,
Yeah.
or is it with Jake?
Well,
Oh, that's what
yeah,
that
we
is.
just segue
Okay.
through all the cameras.
I wasn't sure he had
Yeah.
it. I thought Jake had it. Okay.
So you can get this one off of Ghost Stop. This is the one I was talking about with the IR light, and I don't have the IR light with me because we have ones that we use that I like better. But yeah. So another thing, we have a FLIR, which is a thermal that you can plug into an Android phone, and you can actually shoot in thermal.
Nice.
We're not sure we're saying that right.
What?
FLIR, FLIR,
Yeah, it's
FLAR,
FLIR.
FLIR. Is it FLIR?
Yeah, it's FLIR.
FLIR, FLIR.
Uh-huh.
Really?
So cool thing about this
I feel
though,
like I'm not
if
saying
you
it right.
if you're looking at a wall and you press your hand against it and move your hand away, you can still see the handprint.
Yeah, actually, some of
Yeah.
the higher end ones you can actually see like hot and cold pipes in the walls too.
Yeah, but
It's
this
actually
one,
pretty good. Yeah, I know. Obviously, they make one for iPhones too. I'm probably gonna pick one of those up
this is
as well.
$200.
I know.
It's
That's not bad
expensive.
for thermal.
Well, it still
And
expensive.
not compared to the ones that they use like on Ghost Adventures.
If
Now,
you
Oh,
actually
my
get a
God.
thermal camera,
Yeah.
you're talking over $500.
It's ridiculous. for thermal.
$5,000.
Yeah.
5,000.
oh yeah, hands
Oh.
down, 5,000 easily.
Don't spend.
No, you don't need to spend a shit ton of money.
$5,000 on a thermal. You
Honestly,
don't need that.
Honestly, you want to know something? I can get a thermal camera for the Raspberry Pi.
Can you really?
It's not that great, but I can get one. Yeah,
Please.
I mean,
do
we
it.
could
I'm gonna
use
try it.
another
I'm
one.
curious.
I'll try it.
Jake
'Cause-
can only cover so much land with that. So yeah.
Yeah,
get another
I'm
one.
probably gonna get the upgraded version for the iPhone. I think they came out with version 3 or 4. I can't remember, but there's another brand called Seeker. I think it's called. I'm gonna look into that one as well.
Because we can honestly like set that up as like a stationary.
I am not leaving my iPhone by itself.
When you're in the
Okay, never
woods,
mind.
man, that's what we got to do. I mean, you
just
can be an
literally got
eye
this.
shot.
This
what-
Just
Listen,
the way you look
Alex
at
is
me.
going out with us, like actually on location for the first time on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm pretty
And-
excited.
We're gonna show him the ways, but we actually leave. Like we'll leave Jake because Jake's phone is connected to the thermal,
Yeah.
and we'll leave it, but it's like in eye shot. Like we're not like
Yeah,
just
I know,
walking
I know.
away from it. But I mean, obviously, don't leave it in like a busy area. But you wouldn't be in a busy area anyway.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it in the middle of the road.
Like the middle of the
You have
road.
to get run
Thermals, you got
over.
to be careful though. You got to be careful with those two, just like everything else, because even if you're in a reflection,
Yeah, I can pick up.
it'll
heat.
pick up the
Yeah.
heat and the reflection, and it'll look like, you know, like if you're standing in front of a china cabinet and you're kind of doing a scan, and if it picks your reflection up, it'll look like there's a image in front of you, and it's not. It's your reflection. So you got to be careful with that too.
And you honestly don't even need to get a thermal right off the bat. Like it
No,
took us a
thermal
while.
is definitely one of
Yeah.
those.
Not-
One of those
not
products you don't
necessary.
definitely because
Yeah.
I didn't even know you guys had one up until recently. So
I mean, it came in handy. It came in handy at the New Jersey Pine Barrens. We caught something on it, but I think
honestly, I think this weekend will probably come in handy too, since it's going
Yeah.
to be outside in the
Yes.
cold.
yes,
So I think they work better outside.
they do. They're good outside.
Well,
because it's in bigger. If you're inside, maybe in a bigger area.
Mhm.
well, we
than a
really
small
didn't use
confined
it
area.
we used it at Pennhurst briefly.
Yeah.
But since Jake got messed up pretty bad, he brought his phone with him. And
okay.
we were focused on other things, so we didn't even
I
worry
might
about
actually
it.
I might look into a dedicated phone specifically for this. I was actually
That'd
going
be
to
a
use
good
my
idea,
old
actually. That'd be a
iPhone,
really good
but I
idea.
traded it in for this new one. So, hey, I got this phone for nearly free. I don't want to hear it.
I might actually have an extra phone laying around for this.
I had one. Actually, Braden has one. I'll see if we can get it for him.
Braden to the rescue.
Yeah, I'll see if
Just
I can
steal
get
it
it
from him.
I probably will. It was my old
Yeah,
one. I'll just take it
Just
back.
take it.
Even though he bought it for me for $200. I'll just be like, hey, Braden, this disappeared. It doesn't work anymore. I'll take it.
Yeah, okay.
Do your mad scientist thing. I
Okay.
have
Yeah.
something I need it for.
Yeah, I'll borrow it. Never give it back to him.
Is
So-
this a motion sensor?
Yes.
Okay. So another awesome piece of equipment is our motion sensor. This thing is loud. I don't think we should set it off.
No, I'm not going to. I
This
don't have the
thing's
remote
really
with me.
loud.
Is it really that loud?
Oh, this one is like.
It's
I don't think I've heard that
okay,
one.
When I have put that thing down and just just like my hand hit it or whatever. I forgot it was on or whatever, but it was deafening.
Yeah, it's very
So many
loud.
times I have.
Well, that's good. At least you can hear it from across like the
Oh,
whole. Yeah, I swore, but
Yeah,
that'll be
yeah.
edited out. You can hear it from across rooms. So
Yeah.
that'd be good.
That thing is so loud. It's but it's cheap. It's a cheap piece of equipment that you can use.
How much
too.
was that?
I think like $15.
Nice.
Yeah, I like these because it is a piece of equipment that you do leave by itself. You're not going to walk around carrying it or trying to get it to work. You just set it somewhere that you think there may be activity. And I mean, we again at the warehouse.
And
Yeah,
it
we
went off.
actually put it. The rooms kind of all connected to each other. There wasn't any hallways or anything, but we had it in the one side room, and none of us were even on that side of the warehouse at all. And it just started. I mean, it was loud. We could all hear it from. God, we had to be at least 200 feet away. We're pretty
Yeah,
far.
we were pretty far. We were
Yeah.
like clear across like the whole warehouse when that thing went out.
The
went off.
other one we have is really cool. You should set that off. See if you guys notice this noise.
Okay,
That's
so
gonna come out of.
we actually do. We have a second motion sensor, and this one you can actually add your own sounds onto it. And we were really excited. We only brought it to one investigation, but we're gonna bring it this weekend when we go.
This one we have not had work yet, by the way. The other one we did.
All right. One of the sounds was mine and Fred being weird
Stupid,
and but just shenanigans. But we decided to put some.
So it's
Gotta play
no
it.
secret we're metalheads.
Obviously.
Me and Alex are. Sarah likes her classic rock, and
There's nothing
well,
wrong with that, though.
No, there isn't. There isn't. Like I
I
go
like
from
all music. I just don't like.
like I can go from listening to like Toby Keith to something as
Oh, I
heavy
couldn't
as
do that.
the band Lorna Shore.
Yeah.
Alex is like, I cannot.
I couldn't
Toby-
do that.
Toby
Well,
Keith-
okay,
okay,
all right,
Toby Keith
maybe
is
to an
good.
extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can tell, my motionless Home Depot shirt.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, dude,
No, I
that's a
just
Home-
thought you were wearing a Home Depot.
No, yeah, it's a motionless white Home Depot shirt, man. It was for
I
the
really-
Deadstream 2 at Pennhurst. Honest, actually, when they were at Pennhurst,
Actually,
which is sick.
where I stood right where they played.
I know.
But
Anyway,
we stood.
But
back
wait,
on
what's
topic.
really
Any-
funny is I have to interject here. So I have everything, and yes, I still listen to CDs in my car.
hey, I
everything
still buy
from
DVDs and Blu-rays.
Toby
So do I.
Keith to Boys to Men to Mariah Carey to Def Leppard to Aerosmith, you name it, it's in my car.
But all right,
I
so
like it all.
What people don't understand is that if it weren't for those people, we wouldn't have the music we have today.
Yeah.
That's the
Yes.
thing. People are all, oh, they're
Yes.
no, they're the OGs of music.
Yes, you got to
And
respect
like
them.
I love the Beatles still. I still listen to them from time to time. So
Like even your old metal bands like Metallica and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like you got to respect them, even though you don't like them. You still got to
you
respect them.
have to, yeah.
But anyway, we should probably get back on topic
yeah.
here.
So the segue back to the topic. So I downloaded 3 different sounds onto here. I'm gonna play the first one. Let's see if you guys can get it.
You might want to put it into your microphone. That's really loud. You could pull it away from the mic. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can probably guess what that sound is.
From,
Hopefully.
Silent Hill.
We should actually go there.
I don't know if
That's
I'll get
creepy.
copyrighted for this one.
Oh,
Don't leave it on.
Copyright
Don't leave it on
strike.
for 10 seconds or more. If it's in there for 10, I think it's 10. That might be it.
Okay, and
I don't know
then-
if that horn sound. That's Will Ramos from Lorna Shore's breakdown. The one that broke the internet
If
for
you-
over the summer.
If you don't like that heavy metal, don't.
Yeah, it's great. It's
don't.
actually
It's
great, but there's a
It's
lot of people
great.
that are opinionated about it, and I don't blame them. But because when I first
not
heard
for
it, I
the
nearly.
faint of
But that's besides the point. Let's
Poop,
go on.
nearly poop.
I pooped. Okay.
So-
So those are cool pieces because, again, it's kind of nice when you don't have to lug something around. I mean, even my rods, sometimes I'm like, oh, where are they? Oh, where's the, because there's two
just
pieces
stick
to
it in
them.
your pocket and just put it out wherever you want it.
Yeah, just set it wherever you think there might, and you'd be surprised where you get motion. I mean, it's not always somewhere that's like supposed to be so active. You might get motion in an area that nobody's ever gotten anything before.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll move on to, we got, coming down to the wire here, we have what's called a laser grid. We've only used this one time, and I really want to like bring them out a little bit more.
Are you
You're
supposed
supposed
to
to be
like
able to
set it on
see
a wall and
something
put a
moves
camera at
through.
it and see if
So-
something breaks the
Yes.
plane or something? Okay.
So you can kind of see that. You can see the grid on the
okay.
table, and then if something
I see.
moves
Okay.
in
All
front,
right.
it's supposed to make like a shadow.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much like you have this set up somewhere, and you're
And then
supposed
aim
to
a
have
camera at
a camera. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes. So the one time we actually did use it, we didn't get it. Oh.
Oh, bust it. Why don't you?
And it should be in a building too. I mean, they're not really good for like cemeteries and woods and haunted roads. I mean, it should be in a building where
Yeah,
it can
where
be up
it's
against
actually
the wall.
dark and no light
And, like-
pollution and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Aim it at a wall or something.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Yeah. But another thing from Ghost Stop, please sponsor us.
Yeah, honestly though, you could probably use. I'm pretty sure that they have one of them larger laser pens that have an adapter on the tip.
Yeah,
you could probably
put
just
it
use
on
one
a
of them
tripod
too. Yeah.
too. So I mean, I can't remember if this was like $60 or something like that.
Wow. Okay. It's a little pricey.
Yeah. But if you want to spend the money for something cool like that,
Again,
where
if
you
you're
don't
invested
actually
in it as much
yeah.
as we are, so
like
Yeah.
I know the pens, some of the pens you have to hold the button for the grid,
yeah, that's true. Or you
which
could
is
just hold
annoying.
it, put a piece of
but
tape
this one
over it.
just has, this has it has a switch right on the side right there, just
Very
boop,
nice.
boop,
Little rocker switch.
Yeah. So.
You can
And
hand me the ball then too. When you're ready.
Hey, what is that black box right there?
this is called an EM pump.
Hey, that's actually kind of like what my REM pod looks like. That's exactly the same box that I built my REM pod in.
These two actually kind of.
Please don't turn that thing on.
No. It has to be. has
Alex
to be
won't be
plugged in.
walking anywhere.
I'm not about that right now.
Knock him
I,
the
I'm
fuck
sorry.
out.
Like I took over for these other pieces of equipment.
No, I'm done with my stuff.
This is like a lot.
I kind of
of
can't talk. I can. I mean, if you want me to mention my cameras later, I can, because the one night vision camera I know a lot of people use, but I'll talk
Yeah.
about it later.
So we have just a couple more pieces left. These two kind of do the same thing. This is called an EM pump, which is used to pump out EM, just
I can't remember what EM stands for, but it pumps out
electromagnetic,
energy.
like pretty much energy. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We
That's
should
a
probably
better way
look
of
more
saying
into
it.
this stuff to double
No,
check.
it does pump out. Like I know it pumps out energy. It makes it easier to for anything to manifest, because it's pumping out its own kind of
You're just-
energy.
yeah, you're giving it food to
pretty
feast
much.
on.
So like the blue light's on, it
Nice.
vibrates, and it.
It vibrates?
Yes.
Nice. How much did you pay for that thing? Let me see that thing.
I think only like 10.
Point- show it off first.
He was interested as soon as he heard vibrating.
Oh, get out of here.
But yeah, so it only takes 2 AAA. Here, you want to take a
I
look
do
at it?
want to take a look at that. You
Yeah,
can go
that's
to your
good to
next
use
one.
because it kind of kicks up the energy again. Spirits, they need a little help sometimes. I think some people have this false idea where thinking like, oh, why aren't they communicating? Well, it's work. It's work for them to break through to our side and let us know that it takes energy. So if we can give them a little push, but
Plus, you have to be patient.
don't hang around the pumps for
I don't
a
know if
while.
it's turned off or not. It's
Yeah.
a 3-way switch. The middle's off. Okay.
Yeah, don't hang around it because it is letting off a lot of stuff. You don't want to get drained. Don't.
Yeah, you'll probably end up feeling like crap if you're around it for too long, just like this next piece of equipment.
Oh yeah, Fred can tell you
I've never been
all
around
about
this
that.
thing when it's on, but from what he told me, I don't want to be around it long either.
It doesn't have all the pieces right now, right?
Well, I don't have it
You might
To-
want to be careful playing with that thing
to
because
be able to turn on.
I mean, there could be transistors or something in there. I don't know if it's the right word as a transistor, but it looks pretty electrical, so I'd still be careful.
So this next thing is called Tesla coil. So if anybody is familiar with the newer Ghost Adventures, I'm pretty sure this is when they went to that one
They were sitting at a
wooded
round
area.
table.
No, they went to. There's an episode of Ghost Adventures where Jay decided to bring this out, and he used a bunch of copper wire and made a giant circle.
Basically, what we're doing, we're using a Tesla coil. Aaron and I came up with this idea to basically circle the area where he hung himself and where he actually died with a copper wire, which will basically conduct the electricity caused by the Tesla coil and charge up this whole area, creating this circle of energy.
And some weird stuff started happening because, again, it emitted more energy for them to manifest. But if you're using copper with the Tesla coil going off, it just makes it like 20 times more amplified.
Yeah.
Speak into the microphone, please.
20 times more amplified.
There you go.
And we used this at the Skate Warehouse Part 2.
Wait, you did it all the way back then?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was a new piece of equipment.
That is the only time we used it, and that is probably the only time we're gonna use it.
Or you know what we could do? We could actually set it up remotely and just have a camera aiming at it.
Oh, yeah.
and-
Yeah, because if you're gonna do it, don't sit in the middle of the copper circle.
Fred decided that he was, I mean, I got to give him credit. He was so proud of it when he made it. And he's going to just sit right there in a chair and just going to let
I sat
things
by the chair
happen.
and I'm just like, this is my toy.
How long were you sitting
Proud of
next
it.
to it for?
For a solid like 45
Oh
minutes.
no! Did you
9:30.
did you get nauseous
It was
and stuff?
9:30. He was dying. Oh, I can't
Really?
keep my eyes open. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh man!
I feel like I got hit by a train.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
don't
So be
sit around it
careful.
for too long. Like if
Yeah.
you're gonna sit around it, don't only. do,
You know
like,
what
5
I
or
always
10
wanted to
minutes.
get? I always wanted to get a Jacob's ladder that they use as well. That'd be pretty fun to do.
What is that?
You remember that? There was the 2 rods of metal that the electric sparks would go through. You totally know what I'm talking about.
If I saw it, I probably know what you're
Go
talking
ahead.
about.
Talk about something else, and I'll get a picture of it, and I'll show you.
Okay.
Well, I think Sarah has one more piece of equipment.
So, guys, back to the caveman here. So, one of the oldest and goldest original pieces of ghost hunting equipment that to this day serves just as much purpose as it did years ago. A rubber ball.
Nice.
A rubber ball, because guys, like, you know, this is one, I don't know if this is in frame or not.
It kind of.
Yeah, hold it up just a hair.
Like that. So, you know, if it's sitting by itself for a while, like when we went to Pennhurst Asylum, there's no airflow in pretty much any of the rooms. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty much
No,
a
it's
pretty
stagnant
stagnant.
room in there.
so if you have something sit, you set the ball down, you know, and obviously make it make sense. You know, if there's children known to be around or somebody that would maybe want to kick the ball, you know, you're not just going to put this in a random, you know, spot. Make sure it makes sense. But if it's sitting by itself, you have a camera on it and it's not moving, and 20 minutes go by and then all of a sudden it just decides to roll away, well, there's your evidence. There's no, you know, explanation for that.
It could be
So-
a perfect piece of just a simple tool to communicate if there's like an area that you're at where there's children that are said to be haunting the area.
Yes.
The bouncy ball, they could be like, oh, I want to play with it.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
could-
easy to manipulate. That's the thing. It's easy to manipulate. It doesn't take much for somebody
Honestly, any
pop
children's
it.
toys would probably be a
Yeah.
good idea to have.
Like a teddy bear,
Teddy bears,
Mhm.
action
that.
figure, old
Yeah.
trains or
It's
something.
a nice trigger object,
Yeah,
I guess,
exactly.
especially for child-based haunting.
Especially the ball, those.
Yeah.
Especially anything round, because they can move it.
And
Yeah.
how cool is that for the spirit? They can see it move because they touched it.
Yeah, they can see it react in our
Yeah.
realm.
So that's neat.
And it's very, very, very soft in the wallet. It's probably what,
Yes.
50 cents to $1 for one of them.
This bad boy right here was the Dollar General. I think I almost had that. I think it was honestly like 90 cents or something
yeah.
stupid.
So you can literally get tons of those. And
Yeah. That's
but yeah. So anything else we got to talk about, or
So I think that is.
I'll just name the cameras that I use right now.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
being
yeah.
used. I use for some of the B-roll. I use a Zcam E2C for mainly the cinematic shots, and as well as
Expensive cameras.
Yeah, they're not really totally super expensive. They're like your mid-range, mid-tier professional type.
Pretty expensive.
Well, yes,
Alex.
okay. It's not a red camera, but
well, I think your cinema camera was what, 800?
the cinema camera was around 800, and the Sony was around 1,000. They're both very, very well cameras, very good cameras. There's nothing wrong with them. And the Panasonic HC981K is the one of the top night vision cameras that I know a lot of investigators use, and that's actually Sarah's camera right now that we're using for that. But yeah, I use the Sony A6400 as well as for some of the. I'm gonna start once I start going
For that
investigations
shot,
with
I
you.
think.
Yeah, it's that one. I will be using that for kind of like a vlog style
So,
in the car.
Again, you guys don't have to go like spending that much money on these cameras.
Like I said, his GoPro style one was like $120, $129. Yeah,
yeah, something like that. And like,
129.
again, I think Ghost Stop is still doing it where you can get a free IR light with
Yeah.
it. It's not the greatest, but it gets the job done.
Yeah, they're not that
And then-
expensive. Like I said, we'll put links.
I think that the most you probably spend is just maybe $200 for a basic setup like this.
Yeah.
But it gets the job done. You know, it's what we use on most of
Uh-huh.
our investigations. So
What I try to aim for is minimum resolution of 1080p. If it has 60 FPS, that'd be great because that's even better. But like I said, minimum 1080p is probably good. It's because it's in the dark. So
yeah. So
yeah,
that
I think
was
that's all I have
our
to say.
that was our basic equipment run through. So if y'all like that, like the video, don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment down below what your favorite piece of equipment is, and if you plan on actually doing any investigations, let us know what the turnout is.
And if you are paranormal investigators, let us know if there's something that you use that we didn't mention here that's, I guess not super expensive that we, because we don't know everything. We're still figuring stuff out too. So anything that you could help us with, let us know. Be like, hey, have you ever tried so and so and so? Because we're willing to listen for that too,
Yeah, if you guys also want to get in contact with me about building some of the stuff that I built, just hit up Fred and he'll give you my contact info and shoot me a message or whatever, and I'll help you out and try to building some stuff. And yeah, we'll leave some links down below for everything.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that's all we have for today.
Happy hunting.
don't forget to subscribe. Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Mm.